Hello Internet, is either Roshi, and today I am back reacting to another character teaser. Today we have Yumemizuki Mizuki dining on a dish of dreams, and just by looking at this starting frame, I'm in for a treat. Let's begin. Oh, I'm gonna. I'll go back later.
Don't be nervous. Come right on in.
Ooh.
When we suppress our emotions, our dreams are where they manifest themselves. And the deeper we bury them, the more likely they are to manifest as nightmares. My job is to help you digest those emotions. I'm not a kid anymore. I can do this on my own. You don't want your parents to worry. I understand. But keeping everything bottled up will only worry them all the more. You're doing just great. It's okay to need help sometimes. And there's no harm in being a kid again, once in a while. You're right. Welcome. Now what can I help you with today?
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this. All right. So, I think I need a moment just to get my brain in the right place. So, this animation style is absolutely gorgeous. For lack of a better word. Oh, wow. There is a lot going on here. It's very... Okay, hold on. I got this. So, this is animated in a way differently, for the most part, for the majority of it. I would say like 90% of this animated character teaser is different than previous character teasers. And whoever has watched Genshin Impact character teasers would know this, because we know its signature style, which is this. This is what it normally looks like. This is very pretty. It is also a lot more, not as of recently, but regularly, it's been a lot more stiff animation, where things are on character model at all times. That's not a bad thing. It's cool to be on character model, but to be more expressive, sometimes you have to break character model. Now, what they do here, because we're in a loosey-goosey dream sequence, they completely change the style. And I absolutely adore that. That is such a good move for them to do, instead of animating some dreamlike state versus the reality of things in the same style. It is so much better that they did it this way to portray dreams and nightmares and this whole other world of sorts. It's just directing wise, conceptually, like that is amazing to me. It is very soft. It has the pastel colors. It looks like it was actually made, like it was. This looks more hand drawn, whether it is or isn't. It looks more hand drawn than we have here. Not saying that this isn't, but these are, like I said, very strict character models. Where when you look at something like this, you feel like there is more freedom to it. It could shift and morph and change at any moment. Let me just take a look at this walking again.
When we suppress our emotions, our dreams are where they manifest themselves. And the deeper we bury them...
I love that. Okay, so, man, such a good... okay, so we have a walk cycle of this creature, of this entity of sorts. This actually... Oh my god, I know what this is. Oh, wow, what is it? It's literally, it's an actual animal, but there's also myths about it, and it's what the Pokemon Drowsy is based off of. What the... If you know the name of it, please write in the comments down below, but that's what this is. Or some portrayal of it, I'm sure. Anyway, I love the sequence here where we have this walk cycle of this creature, and it flashes to these ink blots, these abstract ink blots that I guess represent this creature, and then that transition where
bury them,
boop, and now it's like a flower
to manifest as nightmare.
And this, how it's like going on a tour through people's nightmares, being locked, being locked up, being stared at, underwater, floating or falling in space, lost a bunch of stairs. Like there's just all this symbolism here. Just something bizarre, being on stage, being embarrassed, being humiliated. Freaking wow, this person's like restrained, tied up. Their mouth is stuffed with this, or either that or they're spewing it because maybe they can't get their words right. They're worried about tripping over their own words, their tongue, all that stuff. Meanwhile, they're on stage there. Yeah, like all of these images you can immediately look at and be like, oh, I've had this dream before. I've had this weird anxiety. I've had this kind of stress hinder me, even in my sleep, because that's how much it affects me in reality, and it's amplified there. So we see this character who has come to Mizuki for help, and Mizuki is kind of possibly either showing examples or talking about other people's issues, trying to relate to her, or anything like that. I don't exactly know the methods to her dream devouring, stress relief, therapeutic practices, which I'm sure you will find out more in the game when you meet her. But seeing how it's represented here is so interesting and unique to me. And it's captivating. The scenes just keep changing. Like we are in a Willy Wonka Studio Ghibli, kind of feel to all this. And it's fantastic. You have all these other Mizukis here as well in this realm by itself. You have that creature again. Is this what she is supposed to be? Is this might be the creature that actually eats dreams that she might be based off of? I wish I looked it up. But yeah, you have that. It has to be. You have that symbolism all over the place. But anyway, yeah. So one thing I wanted to see how what this said, because I missed it the first time. Let me close this so I can get a better look here. Let's see. Reality and dreams are two separate worlds, yet emotion serves as a bridge between them. Freaking true. Yeah, I mean, that's just real. That's just that. Yep, that's just how that is. Sometimes your dreams might as well be another reality. I mean, sometimes they're real enough. I mean, I guess not everyone remembers their dreams, right? I have very vivid dreams, personally. Unfortunately, the majority of them are nightmares, so I hope they're not another reality because I'm not living in half of them. Anyway, but regardless, I think I've talked about this in my Lantern Rite videos, which aren't up yet, but they will be soon at the time of this recording. I like the theme of death. Right, I think that's a very interesting theme to talk about, and I get more into it in those videos, so I'll spare that from this one. But another concept that really interests me is dreams. Dreams is also very, very interesting. And I realized this before, but I didn't say it. But I'm going to say it now. Yanger. And man, I feel like I should know these people, these other characters, and maybe I would recognize them in the world, but they're escaping me right now. But I love how we see them all here in like the therapy session, talking with her, and then it just kind of leads into the dream sequences, and we see what their anxieties are. This is a great moment right here. You ever feel that where you just like you're just on you're in the zone, you're focused, and then when your shift ends, when it's finally over, whatever that moment is, and you're just like like you just collapse or give in to the exhaustion. I mean, not saying content creation is hard work, but it is there is some kind of strain to it because you're talking or you're presenting or putting on a character, whatever that is. Not that I'm putting on a character. That's just an example of what some people do. But either way, you are using a certain percentage of yourself and you're amplifying it, right? So I could be doing a video sometimes and it could go on for a long time. Maybe it's a recording or whatever. And then finally I'm like, oh, I don't have to entertain. And then my brain switches off and it's just like, oh God, okay. Did the video, did the thing. Let's go. Let's move on. Right? So I love that very real moment from this character here and how they show it. And it's also very cute because it's not some big exaggerated motion. It's not like, oh, I'm tired. It's just a quick and it sells the point, and that's all you need. So that's great right there. Let's see. Have the person approach. Not sure. Right, nervous
Don't
about
be
it.
nervous.
And there
Come
we go.
right on in.
Yep. Also, I don't dislike her voice, but for some reason in my brain, I'm having a hard time matching it to her appearance. Because her voice sounds very, very mature, while she looks very she has the appearance of someone who is more bubbly. And maybe that's my own what's the word I'm looking for? My own stereotypes with what I have matching with pastel colors and stuff, like with the bright pinks and greens and blues. Then again, Silali did something similar, but she kind of towed the line between like grumpy, cranky woman to cute girly pop when she's like in her element, right? And so she had an interesting balance. But here I only see the more mature aspect of her because of her work, because of her job, and how she ultimately carries herself throughout this. But the colors, which aren't bad, they just throw me off a little bit. It's something that I could definitely get used to. And in fact, by the end of this, when she's talking more and we're seeing all this other scenes, I did get used to it. It was just this initial like, whoa, for some reason. Um, but it's not a bad thing because it kept me like, it made me pay attention more. Um, but I do love these motions here. How just the nervous behavior. Yep. Her hand on the door, not fully into the room yet peeking, and then turning her back to it, and her fingers clenching onto her sleeve, and her other hand clenching onto her shorts. Yeah, just that trouble with deciding on what's the next move. How do I continue from here? Should I? Should I not? So that's great. And we have the creature. Man, there's so much to talk about. I already talked about these rooms. I love how much is going on, yet they go by so quick, and there's just so much in everything here. Oh. Like, although these eyes are watching, they're also fabricated. Like, there's this talking about the symbolism of the dreams themselves that they are showing here. It could be a whole nother video on its own. I don't know if I'm going to make that, but because I'm not a therapist, I'm not a dream analyst for in reality. Like I'm just interested in that kind of thing and what it could potentially mean. But it's very, very nice. Okay. Yeah. And then this is great too. Oh wow, yeah. I didn't even realize this the first time. This flew over my head. Okay. So the food represents the dreams that they just had too. And that makes sense, a dream eater, right? To get rid of these anxious feelings, these nightmares, they get devoured. But this weird cage-like arena with the eyes, it's a dessert, you know. And you scroll down and you have more dessert. The room with the broken stairs and the floating, and it's in dark, deep space or whatever. And you have this like cake on chocolate and whatever. Like, you know, like it's so clever. It's such a clever way to represent it, and I've never seen this kind of thing told in this way before. Like I've never, I guess, what should I say? I've never seen someone or something be told in such a way where, oh yeah, something it eats dreams. But it's never represented as in you see the visual of the dream and how it looks in a more, not like in a real form, but then converted into something else that's more tangible. So that's cool. It's almost kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. This feels like a strange, lucid way of dreaming, right? Because it is, because Mizuki's with you and she's in control of everything, and she's kind of showing you how it's like, oh yeah, it's not real, it's fake, and you're in control, and just eat the dreams because they can't hurt you back. I don't know, like maybe that's what that is. Once again, that the dream eater creature. Yeah. And then you have her on the plate and dealing with her anxieties. The broken glass. I mean, I love the broken glass transition. I love that so much. Yeah. This whole sequence here, this is where it started to feel like real Ghibli or Ghibli movie, however you want to say it. Real quick, I'm trying to make myself Ghibli because that's the name of the plane that the company is based off of. But everyone in Japan says Ghibli. I don't know. They're both correct. Anyway. So And yeah, oh man, you have the effects here, the coloring, and the shading on the coloring. Like look at that. Look at how fuzzy it is. Like this looks like it was done with crayon to me. And that's just so unique. Just a lot of flat colors, but it still has that very basic shading and it still pops and everything is very bright. This is just straight up Osile. I didn't notice that before. Hold on.
Them all the more. You're doing just great. It's okay to need help sometimes.
Like that moment there, I'm just like, yep, that's Ghibli. Okay. The music. It's partially the music's fault. The music is great. It feels very whimsical. Wow. There are so many details and so many unique ways they went about presenting everything here. It's just something out of Kiki's delivery service.
And there's no harm in being a kid again, once in a while.
You're right.
And then you return to this style. Yeah.
Huh? Huh. Welcome.
Okay. How do I say this? As much as I love the original character teaser style that they've done, that Hoyoverse uses for their Genshin Impact character teasers, and especially I appreciate how much it's developed since the beginning. Because in the beginning they were very, very stiff. They were almost still images. It was almost a comic, which I didn't mind because that was unique on its own. But that style has improved so much since then. And now they show this, and I'm like, I know that they did it this way because it's just different and it's representing a different world, this dream state. But it was so good. I know that they wouldn't be able to use that style for everyone. I feel like this is very unique for something more surreal, like how this was. But wow, I want to see more of it really badly. They go nuts with these. They go nuts with these character teasers and demos. Man, I mean, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because I can't. I can't. This character is going to eventually be on a standard banner. Not saying that's not a reason to pull for her now if you want her now, but I personally don't feel a very powerful need to get Mizuki on my team, mostly because I wouldn't really be able to use her anyway, most likely. That's just how it is. It's not a big deal. I think she's very cool. I look forward to learning more about her through things that I see her in going forward. And who knows, maybe I might end up getting her on accident one day and I'll be, oh great, Mizuki, yeah, wouldn't be a bad thing. But when I see animation like this, like actual legit good animation where a lot of time and effort is put into it to represent a thing, and it's done very, very well, like you can tell the vision was there and how one thing leads into the next, and just how skillfully they crafted this. It's impressive. And when I see things like that, it makes me go, Huh. I'm freaking interested more than ever before. Yeah. All right. I'm sure I could spend more time going through this, actually going into it frame by frame by frame, to discuss more details of things that they did, pros and cons, all that stuff. If that is something you actually really want to see, let me know. Otherwise, I think I've at least touched the surface with how I feel about all of this. And in short, I think it's gorgeous. Just how the camera moves, the colors used, the music and how it builds, and how things represent each other. Um, the whole concept of dreams and being able to combat your dreams and moving beyond them, and the message of that it's okay to get help. Um, this is surprisingly a lot deeper and more heartwarming than I originally thought it was going to turn out. Um, I thought it might have just been like, oh, she's in her bathhouse and she says some wise words and it's cute and people talk about her and revered her in a good way, and like that wouldn't be a bad character teaser, right? But this is unique. We actually see her do her job and just how whimsical and how fantastical it really is. And then there's just so much good art in it. This was beautiful. And that's what I gotta say. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Like I said, if you want me to talk about this more, let me know, and I can. Even if you're just a member in my Discord and want to talk about it, we can have conversation. I'm all about it, man. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. If you like this video and you like what I made, just the whole thing, you like what I make for you on this channel, then let me know by leaving a like on this video, subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, write a comment down below if you have something to say, and check out the description for additional ways of how to support me. Every little bit counts. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.